Hey guys, welcome to Vent and Validate episode 3. I am Cray, and today we will be talking about, drum roll, unsolicited advice. Yes, I said it, unsolicited advice. What does that look like to you? Now, for some people, it could be something that makes them cringe. I really don't want to hear it, and it really gets under their skin. And for some, you just give two goose eggs. You're going to do what you want to do with your child and you're not going to feel a way about it. And I'm with number 2 because I was number 1 day and I refuse to be that number 2. Well, I refuse to be that number 1 again. I could care less about what someone is saying about me raising my child because, newsflash, it's not you. And oftentimes, when you have a child with autism, when people first hear the word autism, people that don't know, I'm gonna put up quotes, they oftentimes feel like, okay, well, I know, or I hear the word, or my cousin has. No, that's far from what you should be thinking, because you don't live with that cousin. Because if you did live with that cousin, first thing off, you wouldn't be giving me some dumb old advice, right? So if this is not for you, then you may need to keep scrolling or whatever it is that you're doing, because today we're going to talk about unsolicited advice. And we do have a mom, and I'm going to say she is very brave, because this is happening in her own family, like really close. And what does that look like for you, unsolicited advice? Is it, in your own family? Is it someone, just a random person, when you're out in public with your kid? What does it look like? And how do you feel when people give you advice? And a lot of times it's advice that you really could have did without. Or it's like, if I knew that it would be that way, I probably wouldn't even entertain what you said. And, don't you think I would know that already? Sometimes for me, in the beginning, it kind of made me feel some type of way, because it was like, why? I don't understand. It kind of made me feel like less of a parent, like, and I have no idea why I would feel that way, but it made me feel some type of way. But after time after time after time, and getting more involved with other parents and listening to other parents with children on the spectrum, I gave less and less goose eggs about what people said, because honestly, that is the community that I lean on. When I need to know something, I'm not going to, and no offense, I'm not going into my family and saying, hey, what do you think I should do about my son doing X, Y, and Z? I'm not doing none of that. You know why? Because they're going to give me a typical answer. A typical answer does not fall in a category when it comes to the autism community. Now, that is my opinion, full disclaimer, but that is my opinion. So if I'm going to lean on somebody, it would be my autism moms and my autism dads. That family is the one that I will be leaning on. Now, let me get this straight. Sometimes you do have family members that pretty much do know the ins and outs of autism. Sometimes it may run through your family. Sometimes it may, they may be with you with your kiddos day in, day out. So I can see that part. So I'm not knocking on the whole family thing. But for the most part, if you're not living with me, if you're just distant and you're really not with my child on a day-to-day basis, then I really don't want to listen to what you have to say. Now, I'll listen to my autism mom and dad, like I just said, because, hey, I'll take any advice. If I hadn't tried it already, I'm here to listen to some advice from them, because we lean on each other, right? So, without any further ado, I am going to get into this letter. And this mom, oh my goodness, I really feel for her. It kind of puts her in, I wouldn't say a no-win situation, but you guys just tell me what you think. Now, mom, she says, I just need to get this off of my chest, because if I don't, I might explode. Good thing, mom, you're doing the right thing. Being an autism mom is hard enough, but what makes it even harder is dealing with people who think they know better, especially when those people are family. My mother-in-law, bless her heart, because that's what we say when we're trying to be polite, right? Okay. Oh, she does have opinions, and she shares them freely, absolutely with no filter. Apparently, I'm too soft on him, and apparently his meltdowns in public wouldn't happen if I just disciplined him better. Also, his picky eating is because I give in too much. And apparently, I'm supposed to just sit there and take it because my husband, sure isn't stepping in to shut it down. Now, she also goes on to say, do you know how exhausting it is to constantly explain, defend, and justify everything? To have to remind people that autism isn't something you fix with tougher parenting? That my son isn't choosing to be overwhelmed in the grocery store or to gag at the sight of certain foods? That's what indulgence is actually, me making sure that he eats something, anything, so he doesn't go to bed hungry. Now, I don't need advice. I don't need judgment, and I definitely don't need to feel like I'm failing because I'm not raising him the way she thinks I should. I need support. I need understanding. I need my husband to grow a backbone and tell his mother to back off. But instead, I get silence and unsolicited advice. I love my son so much, and I advocate for him till the wheels fall off. I fight battles for him every single day at school, the doctor's office, and public spaces where people don't understand. And now I have to fight in my own family too. I am just over it. I don't expect my mother in law to fully understand what it's like to raise an autistic child, but it is too much to ask for a little grace. Would it be? A little trust that I know was best for my own kid. She ends by saying, I don't know. Maybe the next time she starts in, I'll just hand her a book on autism, walk away, and let her educate herself because I'm done explaining. Well, Mom, that's well said. But I want to start off by saying, I hear you. You are an awesome, awesome mom, and do not give up. Now, I'm going to get into it in saying that I don't know how to put this. Your mother in law, you have to take what she's saying with a grain of salt. But also, your husband needs to advocate for you. Because at the end of the day, I totally get it. That is not your mother, that is his mother. So he goes through these battles with you, with your son, but he just doesn't seem to understand a polite way to tell his mama to mind her business. And no disrespect, but you guys that's listening, you get it. But this is the thing, you guys have to live together. You guys have to raise your child together. And I feel like it's a little rude that mom is coming in basically telling you what to do. And sometimes I get it. Parents will step in and say things, and that's not even, I guess, on the autism spectrum. Parents in general, how it is. So I feel like dad should do more because it seems like you are about to blow your top. And we don't want you to do that because oftentimes blowing our tops could mean that you're in cuffs. And I joke with one of my buddies and I say, you don't want to have to come bail me out. And it's that hard sometimes because you're doing the best that you can. You're going here, you're going there. You have to go into the grocery store, and I can speak for me and you because if your child has meltdowns in public, mine, he does the same. And I've went as far as just leaving everything in the store and walking out. Now, praise God, he's getting better. But when we were going through the motions and him being like that, it was so hard because you have people staring at you. You have to concentrate on what you're getting from the store. Even if you have a list, it still made it 10 times as hard because it's like, uh, how do I do this? It's not how do I do it. It's like, it's so much. And I get it, Mom. You're doing an absolutely amazing job. And all you're getting is, what are you doing? And basically, she's saying you're babying him. And which I get it. You're not babying him. You're just trying to stop World War III from happening. So the best thing, instead of handing her a book, you need to drop him off for about 45 minutes and let's see how she gets it. Because a lot of times people won't understand until they actually get it. You know what I'm saying? They won't get it until the unthinkable happens. Like, what do I do with that? It could be sensory overload. It could be anything. But for her to come in and say, you know, feeding your child something, giving in. I'm going to tell you, when my son, if you watch my YouTube shorts, I'm going to tell you right now, I forgot his zero, and who turned around and went right back to the store and got him a zero. Because sometimes you got to pick your battles, right? And that's not for anybody else to judge. Your son's battle, or you and your son and your husband's battle, is that battle. Because she doesn't have to sit there and listen to the crying, the meltdown, or whatever it is. If you can save from that meltdown happening, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. So, I salute you, Mom. Now, for Dad, you're going to have to tighten up a little bit. Because at the end of the day, she's pretty much taking a fall for this. You seem like you sleeping really well at night knowing that your wife is basically being belittled. Now, I'm not here to bash you, Dad, but you might need to support your wife a little bit more. Because if something goes left and she has a meltdown herself, then you will be left with taking care of your son and your mom that don't know anything about autism, basically, because she studied hounding your wife. So, not here to bash you, Dad, but just give your wife a little bit more support. And you can also do that by just simply telling your mom, just back off. She's doing the best that she can. This is what we do in our household. Support her. You don't have to support her by saying anything to Mom. She knows that you're there and you're going through it. But you got to side check your mom. You not disrespect her. But you got to just pull Mom to the side and say, hey, I'm going to need you to ease up just a little bit. We're trying, and this is the way we do it. And I would really appreciate it if you just respected our boundaries and our space and let us raise our child on our own. Right? So no beef, Dad. You're amazing too. Shout out to my super dads. I'm going to tell you, some of these men, I'm going to tell you, they're pretty amazing. So, Dad, you can do it. It's no big deal. I'm telling you, going through it with your son is going to be much harder than just pulling your mom to the side and having a small conversation with her. Easy peasy. So, Mom, we love you. You have been validated. And just keep pushing. Things do get better. And I can tell you from the meltdowns perspective and things like that, although my son, he's still going through it, there are better days. So just take a deep breath and just keep pushing. And we love you. Now, Mom and anyone else, if you feel like you don't want to get put in the cuffs, go to ventvalidate.com, right? And go to my resources. There is someone toll free, no cost to you, 24 hours a day, that will definitely listen to you. There's a listening hotline and then it's a talking hotline. Resources can be available depending on your area. Depending. So definitely check that out and don't let things get to you. It's okay. It's okay. it starts all in your mind. And for me, I had to figure that out the hard way. So, yeah, don't let it get to you. Now, we are going to end this podcast with our affirmation. Yes, repeat after me, because I feel like I was on a whirlwind after that whole letter. It's made me feel some type of way. All right, repeat after me. I am doing my best, and that is enough. My love, patience, and strength makes a difference, even on the hardest days. I am the parent my child needs, and together, we're growing together in our own way. Again, I love you guys so much. And check me out on YouTube. Or if you're listening to this on YouTube, check out my shorts. That is where I really just give you an inside look on what's going on inside of my head at the time. Funny stuff, but real stuff as well. All right? So until the next time, you guys are vent and validated. We will see you on episode 4. Take care. Bye.